Time to put the crosshairs back on the 65 Mustang. That's right. Been working on one too many other projects, including R34 Skyline, Ducati Monster and associated track days, building a garage so I could throw all those vehicles inside of it, and shipping the 68 Mustang over the high seas. That's right. Time to dust off this project, focus on it so I can get it done. Make a long story short, I'm tired of the 65 Mustang just sitting. And the more time that goes by, the more time I want to cut corners to get this thing running. I'm at the school of thinking, just get an engine and transmission installed to get this thing moving. Something like a Fox Body 5.0 with whatever T5 transmission they have. Unfortunately, this conflicts with my Monster Coupe theme. Monster Coupe? What's that even mean? It means I'm building a big bad Mustang to keep up with the likes of other internet Mustangs, including Mike Myers' Old Blue and Ken Block's Hoonicorn. We all know the fabled Comment Karen, don't we? That's right, I said it. Comment Karen. The Karen of commenters. Comment Karen likes to shit on threads before they even have a chance to get off the ground. Comment Karen offers no value. No technical value other than telling you how to spend your money. Keep an eye out for these Karens. They're on Facebook. Let's say you have a technical question that you post on some forum or Facebook. You ask, hey, how do I install this part? Maybe an intake. Karen herself will say, don't install it. Spend your money elsewhere. That project is bullshit. It's a waste of time. Instead of Karen lending a hand, helping out with the information they have in their fucking dome, no, they'll shit on your project. Watch out for these Karens. I'm all in for diving head first, even if you don't succeed, especially if you're bold enough to document the journey. It pushes us as an industry forward. That's right, the industry could use help from people that are bold enough to document the idea. That's why people like Cletus McFarlane are successful. B is for build. Some people might call you an idiot for wasting your time and money, but I say thank you for documenting these mistakes so we all collectively can learn. So you want to do a Coyote swap? Indeed, people do Coyote swaps. The Coyote is a reliable engine that creates big power. I mean, some cars are producing 1,000 horsepower with just bolt-on parts. At face value, a Coyote swap, it's a good idea. A 302 will never behave like a Coyote. The power curve's different. And in order to create the same Coyote power from a 302, at a minimum, you'll need to crack the engine, put a cam in, then heads, plus intake. After buying all those parts, you better possess the knowledge, the know-how, how to make those parts work together in harmony in that 302. I spent time, money, and effort installing the TCI front suspension, cutting out the shock towers, all to install the larger dimensioned Coyote inside the 65 Mustang. The very Coyote that I've done a 180 and decided not to install it. What gives? Before I set off and bash the Coyote, let me play devil's advocate, if just for a moment, to explain why the Coyote is a great engine. All jokes aside, seriously, the Coyote is a reliable motor that produces big horsepower. It sounds good, it looks good, it responds to bolt-on parts like no other engine on the market. So why is it I've decided not to use it? Do you have a home theater system? Have you ever connected a VCR in your day? I don't mean to sound condescending, but if you know how to plug in a wire or two, then you know how to hook up a Coyote. That's right, plug in this wire, plug in that wire, add 12 volts. Next thing you have 400 horsepower at your fingertips. Or do you? Those very fingertips are the things you're going to have to use to fabricate, to install, and align all the parts to get the power routed to the rear wheels. And that's where the difficulty lies. So you say it's simple. Flywheel, bell housing, clutch routed to the transmission. Get a drive shaft fabricated and voila, all the power a Coyote could create screeching through the rear tires. No, it's not easy like that. This isn't a simple procedure. And if it were, my Mustang would be running right now. How many of you dive headfirst when you have a car project as opposed to sitting idle doing nothing, let the dust collect? The Coyote was purchased. The fuel system was prepped and primed for more horsepower than that Coyote could even create. There's one thing you hear in this video. If there's one thing you learn about a Coyote swap at an early Mustang, it's that you have to account for the brake master cylinder. The brake master cylinder needs to be relocated. It needs to be relocated with the ability to accept linkages pushing force from the pedals. What I mean is that the master cylinder modification, you need to ensure the pedal talks to the master cylinder nicely. In order to accommodate for a Coyote swap in a 65 Mustang, you're going to need to relocate the master cylinder. While facing the vehicle, you're going to have to bump the master cylinder a few inches to the right. The question now is, can you use the stock pedal assembly with that relocated master cylinder? With the linkages and the geometry all different, do the two parts, does a master cylinder and the pedal assembly, do they talk to each other nicely? Or do you have to upgrade parts to the likes of the Willwood pedal assembly, which comes with a whole slew of other problems. How many different ways are there to install brake master cylinder and pedal on a 65 Mustang Coyote swap? 5, 10 different ways. You got guys who install the clutch with linkages, hydraulic clutches. You got the brake assembly that's powered, non-boosted. I mean, I've seen some cars pushing 1,000 horsepower in a non-boosted setup. Yes, there are people right now who are installing Coyote swaps, brake master cylinder, all the linkages, but they have a formula designed for themselves. Top secret, industrial secrets, and these fabricators, they document nothing, they owe us nothing. There's a gap in the market, which I'll cover afterwards, but there's a solution, an easy way forward, rather than that Coyote and nightmare situation that it comes with. Side note, it's not about installing these hydraulic clutches. It's about installing these hydraulic clutches while making room for a moved over master cylinder. Some of you might see this as taking a step back, but on the contrary, you think the only way to have a resto-modded vehicle is to have a space-age engine, new technology? Screw that. Take old technology, pushrod technology, slap new technology on that engine. And this engine slash set of engines after the drum roll is 289, 302, 331, 347, 351, 408, 427. I used to think that the only way to get usable big horsepower out of a Ford engine was a Coyote setup. Because of this pushrod versus Coyote swap debacle, there is an opportunity in the market for any savvy mechanic that knows how to use an iPhone. A gap in the YouTube universe. You know how to install the brake master cylinder, clutch assembly, and everything in a Coyote swap? Document it, man. You could be the first to do it, just like how Charlie was the first to bite that kid's finger. Who's the first person that can make an instructional video for Coyote swap, master cylinder location installation with pedal location, install with clutch and brake pedal actuations. But before you, Karen, say, hey, it's easy to connect all the parts, grow some balls and make a video, write some explanation on how to do it. Don't be a smart ass and show me a finished product and say, oh, that's how you install it. Look, wheel and tire. Take the lug nuts off, take the wheel and tire off, put it back on, put the wheel and tires back on, and that's how you install wheel and tire. No, show me the process of how you do it. Don't just show me the finished. Just take a picture of the damn thing and say, this is how you do it. Come on. Look, the wheel's installed on the car. Show me the process of it being done. Show me the install. YouTube channel, Auto Edits, it was the only channel that showed the Willwood pedal install on a 73 Mustang. It wasn't a 65, so hey, it doesn't help me much, but at least they show a video how to actually install Willwood pedal. Thank you, Auto Edits. I'm not gonna lie, I hate relying on anybody doing anything, including labor, on my own automobiles. How's the old saying go? You want something done right? Do it yourself. I've repoed my own vehicle from a shop before because that shop couldn't do the Coyote swap. No, let me take that back. I've repossessed my vehicle from 2 separate back-to-back occasions because they said, oh, we could do the Coyote swap, and they just sat on the vehicle. I'm about to go off on a tangent, but this is relevant. I've lost about 4 months of labor time on 2 shops. One went bankrupt, both those shops saying they could do Coyote swaps. If you're contemplating dropping your car off at some shop that says they do Coyote swaps, do your homework, so see some results. Don't just check the Yelp reviews. Oh, 4.9 stars because you do good oil changes. Otherwise, you're dropping your car off to some Joe Schmoes that might not even know how to do it. If there is a shop somewhere in the United States that knows how to do Coyote swaps, get your vehicle to that shop. The chances of that shop being nearby are pretty slim. It's up to you. You have 2 options. You could do the legwork, get your vehicle to the shop, or you can learn yourself how to fabricate. Pick your poison. You can still have a resto-modded Mustang and it doesn't have to have a Coyote. That's the theme of this and the next video. If you've encountered these first world engine swap problems, be sure to subscribe because, well, just subscribe to use me as a resource. Whether or not you trust me or not, hey, at least I can make mistakes and document them for the whole world to see. So hit that subscribe button and watch me fumble through this mess, all in the name of education. So a topic for the next video will be exploring engine combinations to install. We might go with the 351 Windsor, Remand with a TKX, or 5.0 HO pulled from a Fox body, or some variation between the two. Subscribe because money's about to be spent, difficulties are about to be had, headaches and problem solving is about to happen, all at a YouTube near you. I am sorry for being a negative Nancy this entire video, but before I go, let's talk about the positives. Let's speak about what does work and options that are better than the Coyote. Wait, not better, rather seamless, smoother, a power plant combo that just falls into place. Why do you want a Coyote? Big power? Then get a stroked out small block with a cam. You want fuel injection? Get a Holly Sniper. I don't mean to be a Karen, but every reason you could give me about installing a Coyote, I have an opposite reason why a pushrod would be better. Except for being able to flex on the internet like the cool kids do. Here's the ultimate flex. Use an old-style pushrod engine with upgraded technology to make the engine just as good as a Coyote. To sum it up, the major difference between a Coyote and a pushrod in early model Mustangs is that the Coyote requires upfront vehicle modifications that, if not done by somebody trustworthy, then the vehicle will be unsafe. Think about it. It's like an organ transplant, and the body has a higher probability of rejecting the organ. Mr. 65 Mustang will accept the pushrod engine and transmission with less modifications than the Coyote. Hey, even if the worst headache is that the engine doesn't respond to the power like a Coyote or doesn't have the longevity, this is the magic of having an older vehicle. Yes, my biased inner Karen is coming out saying it's more fun to work on an engine. Bottom line, an engine not running well in a well put together car is less of an issue than a great engine in a car fabricated by me. I do not trust the average person, or me for that matter, to sync the parts in a safe way. Bottom line, a Coyote is a better engine, but installing it in an old vehicle by an installer not a pro jeopardizes the vehicle. I'm sorry, I'm at a point where I beat this dead horse into the next dimension. The 65 Mustang was going to be an exciting build. Was going to be an exciting build. It is potentially going to be an exciting build, but the exciting part depends on how much of a monster this Mustang might be. My novice self thought the way to get big power was to do what all the cool kids were doing and install a Coyote. I didn't appreciate the old school technology that could match the new shit that the Coyote could produce. Old school tech making the same power as new school tech. Is it possible? Well, maybe. Maybe so, maybe not. There are advantages to running a pushrod engine versus a Coyote. And these are the things I have begun to figure out when working on the 289 for the 68 Mustang. These are things we're going to explore in the upcoming video, so hit that subscribe button. Billy's up late at night with sugar plums dancing in his head, has an idea, and asks the internet, "Hey internet, I have a question. What happens if I install this cam with these heads and this setup and fuel injection and yada yada?" Comment Karen says, "Don't do it, because me, as Karen, I've done it before and it doesn't work, and of course I've installed the parts correctly." Comment Karen would rather talk you out of what you want to do instead of helping you problem solve through it. All from them seeing the problem from their point of view, their pocketbook, their skill set. What you should do instead is take your hard-earned money and do what Karen, thinks you should do with your money. Never mind, Billy, you take your resources and experiment with a different idea. That might work, and you be the first to do it. Never mind me, Karen, I could lend a hand and say, "Hey, Billy, I've never done it before. I don't think it'll work, but if you want to go through with the process anyway, be sure to watch out for this problem and that problem. Oh, FYI, keep a cool head when that problem does arise." Problem solving and reaching out to people with the skills, that's key. Don't be Karen. Don't be that guy. Don't shit on other people's dreams, all because you know best. Get out of the way, clear the air, all for people that are motivated to help Billy out. Never mind me, Karen, I could lend a hand and say, "Hey, Billy, that looks like a difficult project you have going on." That's my one and only disclaimer. After that, it's either put up or shut up. Me as Karen, either I got to give you the technical advice that's in my fucking dome, or I got to keep my mouth shut. Like Mother used to say, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. There is nothing worse than teaching the internet how to behave properly.